We're still having our African-themed Christmas, and we're discussing relationships and dating today. One of those feel-good Thursday topics. And we're reading comments from Diary of a Niger Girl on men's perspective of women. And there was one of the comments that actually caught my attention. It says, as much as women claim to be emotional beings, they can't handle your emotion as a man's emotions. They want you to open up to them, but not in any way that disrupts their own idea of what a man should be.
I agree.
So, for example, a man he feels bad. He's sick about something, and he wants to be able to have a shoulder to cry on. But the moment they try to do that, the men look at them like, yeah, you're a man now. You're not being a man. Man up now. What's all this nonsense? But yet,
we're speaking from the two sides of our
mouth.
We want the man to be
macho?
We want a man to be emotional. We want him to express himself. We want him to be vulnerable with us. But when he shows that vulnerability, we count it as weakness.
Yes. Yeah.
So the man is getting mixed signals, and then over some relationships, he has learned to keep his emotions to himself.
Yeah. Yes.
And
that's another learning curve.
It's a major one. I think it's a lesson to women. This entire conversation we've been having is a lesson that women need to be more introspective as we deal with.
And you know how you see, we're talking about the fact that the girl child was raised to be a wife, to be a mother, and all that, and the boy child, the boy child probably wasn't have the same kind of training. However, we as adult women can help the men that are already adults. Yes, there are ways you can do, not to become their mother, but to allow them to be themselves. You know, sometimes there's like this expectation we have in our minds of who they should be, and that's not who they are.
Yeah, so I think also is the way that the women are raised to have those expectations of a man. If we ask ourselves, most men, can a man trust us to be vulnerable with us? Can he trust us to be completely vulnerable? That business that I was working on is not, it just fell through, and I'm not even sure where we're going to get our next meal, and he starts crying in front of you. Would a woman really want that, or if she wants a man that will show up and light her and say, don't worry, we'll sort it out, it's all sorted, it's all good, and you move on, and then gives you that false hope? I think many women would rather want a man that would lie to, you know, not lie, just give you that false hope that, you know, I've got it covered. Because our men, we love them for the strength that we perceive that they have. We love them because they're supposed to be fixers and, you know, defender of the universe. And if they show us that they're anything other than that, then we think of them as less than. So, you know, on the one side, yes, we want strong men, but on the second side, we also want them to be in touch and in tune with their feelings. So maybe women need to ask themselves exactly what it is we want from a man, because, you know, recently at the weekend, we were talking about the man's ego. And many times when we talk about a man's ego, we only see it in the negative. But I learned that a man's ego, the part of him that is able to be your defender and your provider and your protector, is also the part of him that will be stubborn in some of the, you know, daily conversations that you have with him. So you're saying, my husband has such a huge ego, but that ego is paying you in the positive light. He's there for you, he's standing in for you, he's providing for you, he's protecting you. So we need to understand that a man comes with, you know, both sides, and be willing to take that.
All right, let me take this call. Peace, are you there? Good morning, Peace. Are you there from Plateau State?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
No, the volume is quite low. You might want to increase the volume a bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, very clearly now. Go ahead, please.
Okay. The issue of whether women or men are more emotional, I think men are more soft than even women. You know, when you look at it critically, you understand all these men show that they are strong and the rest, they just don't want to reveal their weakness. A woman can do so many things at once, but a man cannot multitask if you look at it critically. It's just that the society made us to understand that men are stronger. Men are not stronger. Men are just, God just created them for them to be able to manage things. Not that they are stronger. Women are stronger than men, but...
Thank you very much.
I agree with you. Women are stronger emotionally. Men are stronger physically.
Physically, obviously.
Yeah, but emotionally, I think that women are much stronger and are able to withstand a lot of the knocks that a man will crumble.
That's why we're the ones that give birth. A man would not be able to handle that.
Yeah, I know a woman that said if it was man and woman that were to give birth, they will end up having only 2 children. Because if the man gives birth first, and the man is not going to go the third one, you know?
But, you know, so talking about emotions, you have a few comments, please go ahead.
So someone says that men cry too. Oh, everybody. The 50,000 naira, I think you have to send it from here.
Somebody is saying, this your gele. Now, wow, Emmanuel Akifemi Balogun said, now, wow, na gele na sken telegbosa. Then Black Diamond said, Brian, you look amazing.
And also says men cry too. Men need pampering too. And so that's the truth. Men
so
also
when we think of emotional men, we're thinking of men who are able to pamper us.
Yes.
Men who are soft, who can sing to you, sing a song to you, and, you know, love you, buy you flowers. That's the emotion we're saying, you know. But the other side,
to the emotion.
The flip side of the emotion of, I want to cry, I'm angry, or even a man can be jealous of somebody. My friend has a car, I don't have a car. He has a house, I don't have a house.
We don't talk about it as much.
Because the men don't show it.
Actually,
because men don't show it, because the truth is that their friends are doing much better. And they really want to do better, and they feel like they're already disappointing you, but so they hold it, but you just expect them to do so much more. So how do we understand?
That's the reason for high blood pressure.
How do we understand the man's emotion and be there for them? I mean, that's the real conversation, because we are talking about. We want to see things from the flip side today. You know, we're talking about relationships, dating, understanding men from different sides. How do we understand a man's emotion? Not the one that is fluffy towards us, but the one that he's actually feeling his vulnerable himself.
Oh, I think that this is...
Why are you saying, let me take this call. Think about your thoughts very well. Good morning, are you there? Evangelist Julius, good to have you.
Thank you very much.
You're live.
I really love this story. The topic you people are making right now is a very good topic.
Thank you, sir.
It's going to help many men. God bless you, mother. You know, I think our mothers have to be spoken to, especially our mothers, the way the male child is being raised from the beginning. When a girl and a boy fall at the same time, all we do is to pet the girl and tell the boy to wise up that he is a man. So at the end of the day, we men have taken this that we cannot express our emotion, and at the end of the day, our wives suffer it. So what we need to do is to allow the men to express their emotion while telling them to that, yes, even though they are emotional, they can still be in charge.
But Evangelist Julius,
very important.
When men express that emotion, some women take advantage of it. So men say that a lot, that if I show you my weak side, you're going to use it against me in future.
Yes, but because the women too, the girls, or let me just use the girls now, they have heard right from their childhood that men are not supposed to express emotion. So our sisters have to be told that men and men, just as the former caller said, women are more emotionally stronger than men. Because, for example, now, a woman can see her husband cheating and be able to contain the anger. But a man will break down. He will just, he cannot, you know how it is. So we are more emotional, but we are not allowed to express it. So as the girls are being, the men are being taught, our girls are supposed to be taught too. That when a man express emotion, hurt me, rather than using it against him. I think it will go a long way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Evangelist Julius.
So this is a wake-up call for all the women watching. It's going to take a whole lot to undo that shield that a man has built around himself. And I think that it's in little ways he probably has tested you and you failed, because when we're hurting, we would find what we can use to hurt him back. And it's usually his vulnerability that is shared that we'll use to hurt him back. So many of us have already failed. But I think that no man should feel that I need to be so strong for my wife. Because especially if you're already married, that's your first, like, there's nobody, they say the person that will bury you, don't hide your nakedness from such a person. So if somebody is going to, if your first point of call, your first line of vulnerability, the first person you must be most honest with is your wife. I had to fight that battle because I felt my husband was closer to his elder brother. And the stories get told to him before I would hear about it. So I had to let him know that, like, I'm here. Yes, you should be able to tell me whatever it is, not that I will now be hearing that after it had been resolved, that when it was happening, you told him. But I think that many men need to go through that journey, and many women need to win the trust of the emotional vulnerability of their husbands, because it helps the marriage to bond closer.
Before you go into husbands, talk of the relationship. Because a lot of women, I'm in a relationship, let's say I'm a man and you're a woman, and then I tell you everything, and then for some reason our relationship doesn't work out.
And you keep it...
Most women will go, that idiot useless man, he has clinical. Yeah. They will
talk about it.
Spoil the man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you are forgetting that during that time, so maybe it is left to the mothers to start teaching their daughters. It's not just teaching your daughter how to cook. It's not just teaching your daughter. Well, we don't teach our daughters about the other
emotionally mature.
You know, we have to teach
discretion.
Yes. Yeah. Be emotionally mature. It's not just about discretion falls into emotional maturity. Yes. Because I have a relationship with you. For some reason or the other, the relationship doesn't work out. Yes. What you and I shared in that relationship should be sacrosanct.
I agree. You know, and this is not just about, as you said, husbands and wives or men and women relationship. It also has to do with regular relationship. Yes. I remember when we were much smaller, my sister and I got into a fight, and I used maybe her test scores to make fun of her. My mom called me aside. I was like, you don't do that. Why would you use... So I knew that next time when you fight, you don't fight dirty like that. Until today, I'm never comfortable with someone that, because we're not in a relationship anymore, and I'm even talking of just girlfriends, and then all of a sudden, everything I told you when I trusted you, when we trusted each other, has now become, you know, public gist. Somebody had even said, maybe friendships, we should sign a non-disclosure agreement. Everything we discussed while we were friends, you're not allowed to discuss when we stop being friends. It's important because when you now have that attitude of respecting your friends, you take it into marriage to respect someone's feelings, and someone will be able to trust you. And also that brings me to the fact that some men, you know, we always talk about those men that are so close to their mother. Maybe it's because those men can be vulnerable with their mothers, but they cannot be vulnerable with their wives.
Very true.
Maybe that's why we call them mommy's boys. Maybe he can tell her exactly how it feels.
Because his mother is not going to betray him
or judge him for that. Yes.
Or judge him.
So the same way we're waiting. So we're waiting also to win his trust, to be able to put you with the same place he put his mother, or put you ahead of his mother. But that takes time. So also because I've got a marriage certificate, or suddenly you've taken over my sister. No, it takes time. There's some men that it's immediately. Others you need to work for it. But some people are not patient enough to work for that trust. Don't you think, YK?
Yeah, and I agree with you, but I was going to say something, because who is the wahala person in in-laws? It's the mother's in-law.
Yeah, usually.
That's the person that is going to give the wife, another woman like herself, wahala. It's not, the father-in-law will just be looking. Anything the mother says, Benny, yes, ma, it's true. Yes, mommy. Yes, Morayo, you are right. Is the mother-in-law will say, well, I'm going to show that girl in this my son's house. So we have our own worst enemies. Well, not only are we enemies of the men that we are our own. So I think this topic is good in that women really need to
self-evaluate.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah. Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yeah, for me, my take on all of this is I've always believed that you get what you give. You get back exactly what you give. But again, I'd like to say to people to be very careful. Now, the thing with men is, they talk about men having big ego. Ego itself is not such a bad thing. Now, men are wired to be proud. I mean, you have this self-worth, your pride. Now, a lot of times when this is hot, especially by somebody who is supposed to be your wife, somebody you love, who is supposed to protect you, care for you, it's challenging. You know, you want to be vulnerable. You want to tell your wife everything. It's only, I say to people, it's only men who are not smart, who have not learned lessons, that will hide stuff from their wife. You know, that will keep things away from their wife. You know, but then, when you open up, when you're vulnerable, when you lay it all on the table, and then you're beaten because of that, your self blows because of that, you know, your emotion is turned to shreds because of that. You know, the next time out, you want to pick what you say or do not say. You want to pick what you share or do not share. I have a friend who has this mindset that his wife respects him more now that there is money. You know that when there was no money there, he was terrible. That's his mindset. So for him, the money is the security. And that is what safeguards for him, his pride and respect in that home. He will share experiences.
Thank you very much. Sorry, you've opened another can of worms for us. Is money security for a woman? Even for a woman to feel like I feel secure in this marriage because you have money. For a man too, is his own way of getting respect that he remembers. Because when he was poor, his wife didn't respect him. Let's go back to that, because I also want to touch on this ego thing you talked about earlier. Because for me, it was also a light bulb effect to know that ego is not just a bad thing. It's the ego that, because when we're having marriage counseling, you have to manage your husband's ego, manage your husband. So we make it look as if this ego, we have to manage, is a bad thing. We have to just, it's a necessary evil that we have to manage. But the ego is what says, you know what, I am the man in this house. And no, you're not going to talk to my wife that way because I am the husband. You're not going to talk because that is that ego that is defending you. Is that ego that is saying, you know what, I'm going to get my salary, I'm going to make sure I used to feed my entire family because I'm not going to use it for that because I want to take care of my family. It's that same ego. So ego is both ways. So how, therefore, do we begin to reinterpret what ego is and embrace it?
I think that what we're doing during this show now is giving people more different perspective on how they see things. And I think it's really important that everybody watching takes our time to think about it again. That am I understanding the whole package? Or am I just isolating what I like and then focusing my attention on what I don't like? Because we tend to do that too. The few things we like, we'll just take it for granted. And then the things we don't like, we now harp on it like the world is going to end if this doesn't change. So it's important that we see that ego is good and ego is as good as we think it is bad.
But a lot of something about this ego that I don't like is a man is too proud to take gifts from his spouse, his woman, his partner, his girlfriend. If I want to give my partner or a car, for instance, if I come into some kind of money, and I say, my partner needs a car, I want to buy it for him. If you say you buy me a car, no, I'm the one supposed to buy you a car. But I think it is a two-way thing. And that's where I have a problem with the ego.
I think there's raw ego that has not been tamed, that has not been groomed, that has not been educated and enlightened. Yes. And I think that there's ego that has been refined. And I feel that over time and with experience and this sort of conversations, a man will understand, okay, I still have my ego, it still makes me a man. So that also links to the one where the man says he only feels respect and feels safe when he has money. Because for him, if he does not have money, then he's not man enough. There's some people that will say, yes, I want my wife to be as rich as she wants to be, but she can never be richer than me. Because for him, it has to show, I have to have more money than her. He has put his whole manhood on the fact that he needs to have much more material, wealth over his wife. Meanwhile, just by being him and being it honestly, he can be the provider and the protector, the things that she will not be able to, that will not come naturally to her. Naturally comes naturally to a woman.
She can even have more money than him.
Yes, but she will not be able to
spend it on him. Yes. Go and spend it, go and use it to buy.
For your mother.
Why are you buying anything for me?
I'm okay.
I can't buy it for myself.
Let me take this call. Hello, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. I'm calling from Mina, Niger State. Your program is very interesting, and I want to appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Many of us, we enjoy your program.
Yes, sir.
I think the issue you are discussing, for me, believe me, you'll be surprised that you need money. Every woman you see in this world needs money. Even if a woman loves you and you don't have money, you have a serious problem. So we thank God you are educating our women. It's all about money sometimes, and it's all about money. But if you don't have money, you will not see when you have money, that is when you see the true color of a woman. Because women, they like enjoyment. You understand? So we men, we are trying. Nigerian men are trying. Believe me, we want to satisfy our women.
And I also want you to be talking about what's happened in Sokoto, in Niger State. You know, we like your program. And that is one thing about Babajide. Babajide will always talk about all the program. That is why everybody is watching Journalist Hangout. Okay. You should talk about these people that died, about 42 people that died in Sokoto, you know. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. So we actually took that story in the papers, but, you know, the show is about expressing views, and would definitely consider other stories from other parts of the country. Definitely, absolutely. Yeah, we have to wrap up on this verse. Yeah.
The story of money, the conversation around money is a conversation that we can't wish away. The truth is, both men and women are happier when there is sufficiency of money. There's no strife. Money is an enhancer. You know, like, that's just it. So it is for marriages to flourish, having cash flow, both ends work. And the way we have been brought up as women in Nigeria or Africa is that a man is more manly when he's able to financially take care of the household. We are trying to change that perspective now to appreciate a man regardless of his financial capacity, but we cannot take away the fact that he has more money will make him look like he's more of a man.
That's some men. My own man wasn't like that. I've shared this story several times. In our early days, it was only one income thing where my husband wasn't working at the time, and I think I shared where I bought mangoes in the house, and I wanted to come back home to eat the mangoes. By the time I came back, that finished, and I'm thinking, Uncle, you finished all the mangoes? Okay, yes. I wanted some mangoes, and it was finished. You know, and it started a fight, a big fight. But was doing that fight, he told me, said, Mara, your money, your official car, everything you have belongs to me. I am your husband. So all these things you are feeling like, you are under me. I am your master. He told me, you are not my master, I am your master. You know, he had enough confidence to say, listen. So even when my brain had to reset, okay, well, no matter what it is you think you have, he's still the head of your family. You know, so I think it's also about the confidence that you have, who you are as a person. If you work on yourself as a person, regardless of what your wife becomes, you feel like she's an extension of you. You make this, you're proud of the fact that she's an extension.
You have aided her progress by just by being there, just by being there for her, because there is nothing as good as having somebody to call up to.
That
supports you. When you're sleeping, like there's no yours and there's no mine.
It's we. It's we.
Yes. So there's no yours, there's no mine. There's no his money, my money, is we. When it's a whole lot coming from your end, is we. When it's a whole lot coming from my end, is we.
I think and women should always watch their mouths. You are a useless man. You can't provide. Say what Kenny Cole is providing for his wife.
I think that should never be done. I think that should never.
Because women will not stand for it if we compare the way you look with another. I mean, if the men compare the way a woman looks with another woman.
Exactly.
We have to wrap up on this. Let's take a few comments. Let's run up.
Yes,
PJ says, Auntie YK, me, I don't get to go to collect gifts, so make una test me and see how I go die. The gift. I have to read that one.
Yes, I need to read this one. I think it's important. Oluremi Ajayi is giving us more about the dating site. She says, good morning, ladies. For the RCCG dating site, I signed up there, and so far I haven't been asked to pay any money. We had a mind-blowing session on Sunday, and I can categorically tell you it's nothing like you've seen before. For those who signed up earlier, they've been taken through some series of classes on different aspects of dating. And those who signed up later have been sent the videos. We have been assigned to WhatsApp groups, and connections have begun.
Oh, fantastic. Good to know.
That's good.
And I said that if I was a single girl, trust me, I'll be one of the... I'll jump on it. What? A nice Christian website.
Billy says the time is too short. I agree. It's a serious topic.
Yes, we have to run. Okay, so that's all we can take. As I said, we're still celebrating our African-themed Christmas. Somebody sent me a message like, what is this? What's going on here? It's an African-themed Christmas, and that's what we're doing throughout the month of December. And every Thursday, we're going to pick a notable person to represent. Today, we're representing... Nike. Nike Oshunade. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back,
can I just say something before you do that?
Yes.
About this our attire.
Yes.
Please, can you let me tell them to be dressing more African? It's not only because they want to do it in December. They do it in January, February, March, and April.
We'll try. But Mariam did it the whole year. Her hair was African all through. Please, let's celebrate Mariam.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I expect it to be my biggest.
I have to ask you. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.